Lacey here with A Sweet Pea Chef, and one of the most common questions I get asked, especially when I talk about how much I eat cottage cheese and Greek yogurt, is full-fat dairy good for you? I get questions like, shouldn't I be having fat-free or reduced fat? Isn't that healthier? I want to lose weight. I don't want to eat full-fat dairy. So today I want to talk to you about why I include full-fat dairy into my healthy lifestyle and why I think you should too. So let's get started. So when I was like 15, my dad got diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So my mom decided to really overhaul everything and get rid of all of the fat in the house. We got rid of all of our butter and our milks and everything, and instead we started getting fat-free cheese, fat-free sour cream, everything was fat-free. And so I thought, well, fat must be bad, right? You can't have fat in your foods because you want to get healthy. And this really started me down this path for the longest time, thinking fat-free meant healthy, but I was wrong. So let's first talk about processing and how full fat and fat-free and reduced fat dairies come to be. So full fat dairy is actually the least processed out of all of the dairy types. So in order to get to a reduced fat level or to a fat-free level, the dairy has to actually go through quite a bit extra amount of processing. So if you start to think about your clean eating diet and how you're not wanting to have a bunch of stuff that's processed, full fat is going to be less processed than a reduced or fat-free. So yes, more than half of the fat in milk is saturated fat. That is true. That also means then that full fat dairy is going to have more saturated fat than lower fat dairy like reduced fat or fat-free dairy. But in 2018, the University of Texas Health Center in Houston found absolutely no correlation between the saturated fat levels from your dairy in things like milk and cheese and butter and cause of death. They also couldn't find a link between saturated fat and heart disease or stroke. And other studies have also found that while saturated fats do exist in dairy and at high levels, dairy still remains more nutrient dense, that outweighs any of the saturated fat levels. And while they did find that saturated fats are highest in full fat dairy, so that does cause an increase to your bad cholesterol, it also causes an increase to your good cholesterol, so they kind of offset each other. So they concluded that it wasn't a healthier option to have low fat dairy versus full fat dairy. So let's take a look at yogurt. A lot of people feel that buying low fat yogurt is a healthier choice. But let's talk about the processing that's involved of removing that fat. The more fat you take out of your milk, the more sugar you're going to have in there that's filling up the space that the fat was in. So you're actually increasing your sugar levels in your dairy by removing the fat. And if you've seen my sneaky hidden sugars video, you already know that having added sugar and increased levels of sugar is linked with heart disease, obesity, weight gain, stroke, and so many other diseases. And believe it or not, eating full fat dairy has actually been linked with weight loss. Among other reasons, that's due to the fact that eating full fat dairy makes you feel fuller longer, increases your satiety, which helps you avoid overeating. And one study in 2016 by the Journal of Nutrition found that full fat dairy actually helps to improve your weight loss. And that's because the milk proteins that are found in the milk have enzymes that help to inhibit fat growth. So they found that it actually might help to reduce obesity and blood pressure. So overall, the research suggests that full fat dairy helps reduce obesity. It helps with weight loss, and it's not going to hurt your weight loss goals. And it kind of makes sense if you take a step back and you think about it and you get that fat idea out of your head. If you think about it being super nutrient dense and causing a lot of feelings of fullness, you're not going to eat as much of it, and you're not going to need to eat more after, and you're going to get all of the nutrients because of how nutrient dense it is. Instead, try to start incorporating full fat dairy as a healthy, nutrient dense, unprocessed part of your daily lifestyle, and incorporating it into a clean eating lifestyle that makes you feel full and happy and get the nutrients that your body needs. And that means not being afraid to start incorporating higher fat foods, even things like avocados and coconut oil. Check out my 30 weight loss tips that actually work video so that you can keep maximizing your weight loss efforts. And I'll see you in the next video.